Sages of the past, of particularly the Midrash, tell us that the Ten Commandments and all of the numerous laws that are contained in this particular Torah reading are aimed directly at the Jews. They are not for the Gentiles. They're not for the non-Jewish peoples of the world. They are for the Jewish nation. Why does this even say that? Isn't it self-evident? Not necessarily. Sometimes we place as great demands on others as we place on ourselves. Sometimes we place greater demands on others than we place on ourselves. The dichotomy may bother us, and the dichotomy may pass us by totally without even noticing. But the Torah is explicit that these laws are intended for us to become the best possible people that we can become. We are not determined to foist our values, our practices, our laws, our customs, our traditions on others. Their path is their path. Ours is ours. It's mutual respect in that sense. And the third and final point I want to make about this week's Torah reading is a story that is told of a great rabbi, Rabbi Frankel, who was such a learned malamed, such a learned individual that people would come to study with him and obtain smicha from him, that is to say, rabbinic ordination from him from all over the world. And there was one particular young scholar that came to him after having studied the full breadth of what is called the Shulchan Aruch, which is the Jewish code of law. In essence, if you take this week's Torah reading and spread it out over numerous pages and intimately dissect each law for its kernel of understanding and knowledge, you would have the Shulchan Aruch, distilled, as it were, knowledge from the Talmud. So this young man came to Rabbi Frankel and said he would like to be tested for ordination, and Rabbi Frankel tested this young man and found his knowledge impeccable. He tested him all 4 orders of the Shulchan Aruch and found that he knew how to adjudicate. He knew what Jewish law was, and he was able to communicate that to anybody that would come under his aegis. And then Rabbi Frankel said one other thing. He said, when you know the 5th book of the Shulchan Aruch, then you'll be a real rabbi. The young man said to him, there is no 5th book of the Shulchan Aruch. What are you talking about? Rabbi Frankel said, that's precisely the point. It's not the knowledge that you have as much as how you use the knowledge to treat your fellow human being. The way in which you engage people, not by strict judgment, but by understanding, is the 5th book of the Shulchan Aruch. That's what makes you a true mensch, a true human being. Shabbat Shalom.